Now, when we ask ourselves, what is tajweed? Tajweed is basically the recitation. How are you going to recite the Quran? We're going to go through all of that. We're going to look at the articulation points, which is called the makhraj. We're also going to look at the sifat, which is called the pronunciation. Okay, the characteristic of the letter as well, slowly and gradually in the next pages. Okay, and why is makhraj and why is all of this important? Like I said at the beginning, we have one single book, okay, that Allah has sent us, and we have an entire lifetime to learn how to recite it properly. Right now, usually there's a conception in Ramadan, we recite it so quickly and quickly, we think that now we're going to get sawab if we're done with recitation. Of course, we're going to get sawab when we read the word, when we read the verses, but the prime and the most important thing is that we need to know how to recite each and every word in the correct manner, right? Because in Surah Muzammil, in the Quran Sharif, what is happening is that there's a verse that says that وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا, recite the Quran in the best proper tartil. What is tartil? Imam Ali alayhi salam was asked what tartil is, and Imam Ali alayhi salam said that tartil is actually the proper tajweed of the Quran, where you are aware of the waqf, the stopping rules, as well as the proper rules of tajweed. Tajweed is like how you recite each and every letter, how you recite each and every word, and your qira'at as well. Qira'at means the qira'at. Like how we say how you recited, the way of your recitation. Okay? Even Imam Jafar as-Sadiq alayhi salam has said that reciting in tajweed is very important. If I am able to read the exact quote, Imam Jafar as-Sadiq alayhi salam has said and emphasized on the beauty of recitation, where he mentions that recite the Quran with proper recitation and beautify your voice, for Allah loves a beautiful recitation. So tajweed is not just rules of doing this and doing that. Tajweed is more about adhering to the commands of Allah, adhering to the book of Allah, that we need to respect it. We need to respect it. And how can we respect it? It's when we are going to recite the Quran in the proper manner. Okay. Our approach in going ahead with this sessions is going to be that first we're going to look at the actual topic, okay, and then we're going to look at the examples, and we're going to look at the practical. We're going to practice using the actual text, which is all going to be included in the slides, and then we're going to, if you have any questions, you can either ask me at that time, you can approach me in the chat box, or you can ask me later on as well. Okay, so let's begin with the dua, okay, before studying. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم. اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. Ya Allah, please bring all of us out of the darkness of doubt and favor us with the light of comprehension. Ya Allah, open to us the doors of your mercy and unfold for us the treasure of your knowledge by your mercy. O the most merciful of the merciful ones. Ilahi Ameen. Now, when we're beginning, we will be starting with the basic, even before we move on to the Quranic facts. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. This is called Istiaadha. What we're going to be doing is that we're going to be looking at Arabic terminology. So like I suggested, that please have a piece of paper and pen with you in case you want to write it down. But nonetheless, at the end, I will be sharing this document with you. Okay, and there will also be a little quiz at the end as a practice self-assessment homework. It's not like we're going to be doing that right now. Okay, so al-isti'adha is a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim is the basmala. Okay, basmala is Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. At inception right now, some people might be thinking that this is all basic stuff. Yes, this is basic stuff because this is the tajweed for beginners, right? So initially, we're going to be covering the basic things. Even the alphabets are pretty basic. We're going to be going over the basic things, and then we're going to be moving towards the more challenging aspects, okay? As you can see in the entire 8-session overview. Al-Isti'adha, once again, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. What is basmala? It's Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Okay? I will also be explaining later on why did I say Bismillah, not Bismillah. Okay? Like these are all rules. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Al-Istiaadha and Basmala. Can you hear me? Okay. So now we're gonna look at the Quranic Facts, which is the first section, okay, of our session. There are two types of manuscripts. Mushaf means manuscripts, okay? What are the famous manuscripts these days, okay, in the modern world? It's the Arabic Mushaf and then it's the Urdu Mushaf. The scripts are different in both of them. The Urdu Mushaf that's there is what is primarily used in the Indo-Pak region. Okay, the script is different as well. It allows us to better read the Quran, and a person who is not able to understand all the Tajweed rules, it gives us slight guidance as well within the Urdu Mushaf. But in the Arabic Mushaf, what they are presuming is that the reader is already going to be aware of the majority of the Tajweed rules, so he's going to be able to understand and and implement all those rules properly in the recitation of the Quran. Because our primary motive is to recite the Quran in the correct manner. Sometimes we say something, just because of these pronunciation errors, what happens is that we end up reciting the incorrect, or we reciting the sentence incorrectly, the ayah incorrectly, which ends up changing the meaning of the entire verse. And that is, of course, like what you call a sin in the first place, right? Because if you're reciting the word of Allah in the incorrect manner without paying heed to what you're reciting, how you're reciting, then that's a sin in itself, because you're not giving attention. You're not actually, you don't have to give any importance to the word of Allah, right? This is a basic thing, common sense, right? So there, in the Mus'haf, there are two types of Mus'hafs. One is the Urdu manuscript and the other is the Arabic manuscript. The Arabic manuscript has a different sort of text. We're going to look at it right now. If you look over here, this is the Urdu manuscript, okay? The Urdu Mus'haf is usually, the texts are quite large and it's like very clear. At least for me personally, I feel it's very clear, okay, the Urdu Mus'haf. And because it makes it easy for us, whoever is not able to understand Tajweed fully, it gives us little hints in the borders, okay? This is the Urdu Mus'haf. We will cover each and everything in a moment. This is the Arabic Mus'haf. Here, you will see that the structure is a bit different as well. The titles are a bit different, and even the annotations and all of that are a bit different. Okay, we will look at everything individually. Okay. Before that, let's move on to other basic information. What is a juz? Juz means parts in the Quran. Okay. So like I was saying, juz is actually parts. Okay. How many parts is the Quran segregated into? It is segregated into 30 parts. 30 juz. We're going to refer now, because we're learning all of this, the person who already knows it, because of course we're studying it, right? So now we'll be able to refer to this in the correct Arabic terminology. How many parts are present in the Quran? 30 juz. 30 parts are in the Quran. And why do we have 30 juz? Just for a person in case they want to recite the Quran within a month, then on average 31 days they are able to recite the entire Quran. They're able to recite one juz a day, so they'll be able to, inshallah, recite complete the recital of the Quran, within a month, inshallah. Similar to juz, we have manzil. Okay, the Quran is separated into 7 different parts as well. Okay, this is usually there in the Indo-Pak region as well. There are 7 manzils in the Quran because it assists us in completing the recital of the Quran in one single week. Okay, how are we going to do that? If we recite one manzil a day, then we'll be able to finish the recital in an entire week, because we'll be eventually reciting 7 manzils in a week. One second. Okay. Then there are a lot of technical issues. I'm so sorry. Can you still hear me, by the way?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so now, as I was mentioning, there are 7 manzils within the entire Quran. Why? Because then we'll be able to recite 1 manzil a day. We'll be able to finish the recitation of one entire Quran within a single week. How many surahs are there in the Quran? There are 114 surahs in the Quran. Okay, 114 surahs, they are usually segregated into 2 types, Meccan surahs and Medinian surahs. The basis of that segregation is that the Meccan surahs were revealed before the migration, Medinian surahs after the migration. 86 plus 28, 114 surahs in total. Okay, basic information. From these 114 surahs, we have sajda ayahs as well. Okay, there are verses in the Quran where it's mandatory for us to observe sajda, okay, prostration. How many sajda ayats are there? There are actually 14 sajda ayats in the Quran. How you can remember that is by remembering the number of the Masumeens. So there are 14 sajda ayats, but from these 14 sajda ayats, you have 4 sajda ayats where it's mandatory for you to do sajda. In the other 10, it's mustahab for you, but it's of course the 4 sajda wajib ayats, you must do sajda. And this is whether you hear it intentionally, unintentionally, and when you're reciting it, if you happen to, like in all these 3 conditions, it becomes wajib on you to observe sajda in whichever place you are. But of course, it's not wajib on you to do it immediately. You can do it after some time. And it's mustahab to face the qibla as well. But the ideal thing is that you actually go ahead in prostration after you hear the sajda ayats. How can I remember all these 14 sajda ayats? You're going to think, well, the easiest way is to remember just the 4 surahs which contain the wajib sajda ayats. Okay? The first one is the Surah Al-Sajda. Second is Surah Al-Fussilat. Then third, Surah Al-Najm and Surah Al-Alaq. So if we remember just these 4 surahs, where we know that, okay, here the sajda ayat is going to come, so it's mandatory for me to do sajda, then it's going to be easy for us to remember that, okay, in these 4 surahs, I need to be cautious that whenever the sajda ayat comes, then I need to immediately go ahead with the sajda. Okay? Now, what about the ruku? A ruku means, just like in English, you're reading a story and all of that, you have several paragraphs. So similarly, within the Quran as well, the Quran has multiple paragraphs. Now, these paragraphs within the Quran, they are numbered to be 558. 558 rukus. Why are they called rukus? Because, after Surah Fatiha within our salat, we are allowed to recite a portion of the Quran. We, therefore, are permitted to recite 1 ruku from these 558 rukus. And why is it called ruku? Is because once you're done with the recitation of that specific ruku, then you go into the ruku pose within the salat. That's why it's titled as ruku. So how many rukus are there? There are 558 rukus within the Holy Quran. How many ayahs are there? There's another trick that I teach my other students as well. 6, 2, and 3. There are 6,236 ayahs in the Quran. Ayat means verses, okay? Ayah is single. Ayat means it's a plural form for ayah. 6,236 ayahs in the Quran. How many harfs? Same thing. 7, 7 at the end, 8, 0. 77,807 harf. What does harf means? Words in the Quran. Now people will say that, oh, I have heard that there are these many ayahs, there are these many ayahs in the Quran. Well, yes, there are different methods of calculation, but as per Imam Ali alayhi salam, the authentic reference gives us the number of ayahs as 6,236 and the number of words as 77,807. Okay? 14 sajdas, and out of that, 4 are wajib. And the trick to remember is that if we only learn these 4 surahs, as in, okay, I know that, okay, in these specific 4 surahs, I'm going to have that sajda ayahs, then I'm going to be cautious that, okay, when I see that sajda sign, then I'm going to go ahead with the sajda. It's wajib on me to do that, okay? The rest, wherever I see it, it's going to be mustahab. So far, do we have any questions? Can you hear me? I'm so sorry. Somebody would have to assist me by confirming.
No.
Okay. So now let me just look at this Urdu Mushaf page. Okay. Here you will see that I will also be keep on telling you the differences in the Urdu and the Arabic Mushaf. Here you will see that usually on the top right we have the name of the juz. Okay. We have the name of the juz here. Here we have the name of the surah and the number. Name of the surah is Surah Al-Sajda. Name of the juz, name of the surah, name of the page number, of course. And at the bottom, you can see a reference to the manzil, because this manzil is apparently the segregation of 7 manzils is apparent in the Indo-Pak region. Here, you will not see that there's a segregation in as per the manzils as well in the Arabic Mus'haf. Okay, this is usually found when you are getting the script directly from Saudi Arabia, or you'll also find it here as well in the local masjids. So here you will see that there's a difference. Here they are actually referring to al-juz al-hadi al-ashrun, right? So here they're giving you the number. Here they're giving you the surah, but you'll see that there's no number here, right? There's no number of the verse. There's no number of the juz. This is the difference, right? And then everything, the rest is the same, but you will see that in the Urdu Mus'haf, you will sometimes, the tajweed rules like Noon Qutni and Mad and all these things will be present in the Urdu Mus'haf. Okay, we're going to move on to the Arabic alphabets and numbers.
Yeah, I have a question. Actually,
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, Ashawan.
Wa alaikum assalam. I'm sorry, I'm not able to look at. Yes, who's
Ronak.
Yes, Ronak. Yes, dear.
Actually, I'm still doubtful with the manzil part. Can you just explain in brief what is actually manzil? There are 7 manzils, so what is
yes. It? Okay, so what is actually happening is that the Quran is separated into 7 parts. Okay, they are separated it's a collection of surahs actually. Okay, so there are 7 manzils, and why they're there is so that it's a usual segregation so that it's easier for us to finish the recitation of the manzil of the entire Quran within 1 week. Okay, the actual segregation. Now, people ask me and they ask questions as in like each and every single manzil the same composition and same collection of surahs or verses? No, they are different. Okay. For example, the first manzil is going to have 4 chapters, 4 surahs. The second manzil has 5 chapters. Third manzil has 7 chapters. Fourth manzil has 9 chapters. Fifth manzil has 11 chapters. Sixth manzil has 13 chapters. And the seventh manzil has 65 chapters. What is happening is that they are collecting a couple of surahs and they're segregating it into manzils so that you have 7 portions of the Quran, just like how you have 30 parts of the Quran so that you can read 1 juz a day, then you will be able to finish the recital of the Quran in a month. In the similar fashion, you have 7 portions of the Quran, 7 parts as well, 7 manzil as in like levels. It's almost the same as in when I recite the first manzil, I can finish say, for example, the beginning of the week, on one day, I can finish 1 manzil, then so on and so forth. On the 7th day of the week, I'll be reading the 7th manzil, and then I will be able to finish the recitation of 1 Quran within 1 week's time. It's just simple segregation in 7 parts of the actual Quran. Yes, Ronak.
Ji, clear. Thank you.
Specific? Okay, no problem. Now, this was the Urdu Mus'haf that we looked at, then the Arabic Mus'haf that we looked at. Then we're going to move on to the Arabic alphabets and numbers. Here, why the numbers are important is because usually in our area, where we have the Urdu Mus'haf, we have the numbers given to us as well. In the Urdu Mus'haf, you will see that the numbers are also in Urdu, right? But in the Arabic Mus'haf, the numbers will be in Arabic. The numbers in these stop signs that you will see, which we will cover, the waqf areas, these stop signs, they are in Arabic over here. The digits, which can be seen here, right? But in the Urdu Mus'haf, you will see that the numbers are also given in Urdu. Okay, so for example, the major difference is going to be in number 4. Okay, and you will also see in number 7. Number 7 is usually written like this. Number 4 is somewhat written like this in Urdu, and they will have that sort of writing in the Urdu Mus'haf, the Urdu terms. The rest of the numbers are basically almost the same, so you don't have to worry about that. But in Arabic, you need to be careful about these two numbers. 7, okay, and you have this one, 8, okay? 7 and 4. Okay, so how do we recite these numbers? Okay, let's go ahead with that. This is Wahid, basic stuff. I'm sure that majority of you already know, but we have to go through everything just for those who still need to get some information. Primarily, that is me, one that needs to get more information. So you have Wahid, Ithnain. Sorry, this thing keeps on coming. Ithnain, Thalatha, Arba'a, Khamsa, Sitta, Sab'a, Thamania, Tis'a, and Ashra. Okay. So this is how you recite the numbers. You will have to individually learn this on your own. I will be sharing this file with you, okay, so you can look into it and practice writing it down, okay? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? So please try to learn how to write that down for those who still need a bit more information. The Arabic alphabets, we have 28 Arabic alphabets. But here's a trick as well, because sometimes what happens is that in some of the Nurani Qaidas that our children learn, you will see 31 alphabets, Somewhere there'll be, sorry, excuse me, somewhere you will see 30 alphabets. Okay? So why this is happening is because here, let's read all these alphabets and you try to yourself figure out, okay? You need to tell me here that what alphabets are we familiar in our Nurani Qaida, which are not appearing over here, okay? Alif, Ba. Ignore these colors, by the way, because I just put these colors so that you will know that there are many different categorization of the alphabets as well. Like at the beginning, I mentioned the sifat, right? The sifat, the characteristics of the letters. Remember, sifat and makhraj are the two foundations that make up tajweed, and qira'ah as well. Qira'at means the way you recite, sifat, the characteristics, makhraj, the pronunciation, the articulation, how the words actually come out of your mouth, okay? Let's try to focus on the makhraj right now. Alif. First, I'm just going to read these alphabets quickly. You tell me what three alphabets are missing, okay? Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Kha, Dal, Val, Ra, Za, Sin, Shin, Swad. Dad, Ta, Dha, Ain, Ghain, Fa, Qaf, Kaf, Lam, Mim, Nun, Ha, Waw, Ya. Can anybody tell me there are three alphabets which we usually tend to read some in our qaidas and all the kids tend to read, but over here they're not there. They're not present here. Any ideas? Just try to be it.
Hamza. It's Hamza.
Hamza.
And
Hamza.
Mad.
Hamza.
There's Hamza, yes.
And Mad. It's Alif with the Mad.
There's Lam, Lam Alif. Right?
And
there's this Ya. There's this Ya, which is there. There's a Lam Alif that's there. And Hamza. Right? Usually we tend to learn it's in a way alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha, dal, dal, ra, za, sin, shin, swad, da, ta, da, ain, ghain, fa, qaf, kaf, lam, mim, nun, ha, waw, lam, alif, hamza, ya, and then bariya. We see these three things. But why these three things are extra is because of the difference between the Urdu Mus'haf and the Arabic Mus'haf. In the Arabic Mus'haf, you will only see these things, these alphabets, alif to ya. In the Urdu Mus'haf, sometimes you also have Lam Alif, you have Ya, you have this thing, because it is there as a sign, a stop sign, waqf sign. So they are trying to show you that, okay, these alphabets are also exist, but that is primarily in the Urdu Mus'haf. Now here, you will see that, let's look at the makhraj, okay? And yeah, one more thing. Somebody mentioned Hamza, okay? So this is Alif. There's a big difference. This is Alif. And why they don't have a Hamza over here is because this is actually a consonant, okay? This Hamza is a consonant, Alif is a vowel. There are three vowels. Please pay attention. There are three vowels in the Arabic language. Alif, Waw, and Ya, okay? Alif is a vowel. This is Hamza, okay? This is Hamza. Together, you're going to call it Hamza. This is Alif, okay? This, you will see in the Quran that it appears at the beginning of the word. It can appear in the middle of the word as well as the end of the word. But this, because it is a vowel, it is called mad, a long mad. What is happening, a natural mad as well, what is happening is that it elongates the sound of a certain letter. So you will find this never at the beginning of a word. You will find this in the middle or at the end, okay? You can try and see. This is going to be there at the beginning, middle, and end. This is called Hamza. This is Alif. This is a vowel. There are three vowels in the Arabic language, Alif, Waw, and Ya. Okay? So this is Wahid. So you have one Alif. Now let's focus on the makhraj now and try to see how the recitation, how the sound is coming out of my mouth. And then you can, if you have any doubts, then you can let me know. For now, I will say it and then you also repeat it. Okay, within your hearts, or just try to see if that sound is actually coming out. If that makhraj, the exit point, the way of articulation is actually appearing with you as well, inshallah. Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha. Here, Tha. What is Tha? Look at the way I'm reciting it. Tha, Tha. The tip of the tongue is touching the back of my teeth, the upper teeth. There are three alphabets in the Arabic. There are three letters in the Arabic alphabets. First of all, we have 28 Arabic alphabets. Remember, we're going to ignore these three that I have given you as extra. Whenever somebody asks you how many Arabic alphabets, 28. Okay, we have 28 alphabets. There are 3 alphabets from these 28 where my makhraj, where my pronunciation is going to come from the tongue, where my articulation is going to come with my tongue touching the like portion of my upper teeth, the back portion. It's tha, 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 tha. Air is going to come out. Tha, tha. And then you have dal, which is here. You can look at the orange, 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 orange. Dal, the, dal. Not zal. This is zal. Usually we have that, we have that misconception that we have to recite this as the same as this. Zal. No, ze, so it's going to be fa, fa, fa. You're going to have some little air that's going to come out. Fa. Then you're going to have val, dhalika, dhalika, ra, za. Okay, sin, shin. And then the third alphabet where the tip of the tongue is going to touch, this is only 3 alphabets, okay? That's going to be the. It's a thicker form of za. It's a thicker form of dal. Sorry, it's a thicker form for the dal. It's going to be the. Okay, there's going to be sound that's going to come. What are the 3 alphabets where the tip of the tongue touches the back portion of the upper teeth? Is going to be tha, dal, and the. Okay. Then you have alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha, kha, kha. You're going to see that connection at the back. Kha, dal, val. Once again, val, ra, za, or za, sin. This ra, I will cover like when should it be recited heavily, when should it be recited lightly. Okay. Then you have za, sin, sheen, swad, dad, a thick version. Okay, thick version. Ta, the, ain. Usually people find difficulty with ain and qaf, but this you need to work on if you don't want to change the meaning of the actual word. Ain, ghain, fa, qaf, kaf, lam, mim, noon, ha. Wow, yeah. Okay. Let me briefly tell you about the segregation and classification of different alphabets, okay? So we looked at the 3 alphabets where the sound is coming when you're touching the top of the tongue with the upper back portion of your upper teeth, upper jaw. Then you also have Huruf Al-Halaqiyya. Huruf Al-Halaqiyya means throat letters. How many throat letters do we have? We have ha, kha, ain, ghain, ha, and hamza. Okay, so you have these throat letters. When I say hamza, that means alif. Okay, you can take sit on this because I just explained the difference between alif, which is the vowel, and alif, which is the consonant, which is the hamza. Okay, these are the throat letters. We will look into it and how that applies to the future rules that we're going to cover. Huruf al-halaqiyya. Okay, I'm sorry, I just got a message. We can't hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. There was a distortion in the middle.
Okay, Walia, can you hear me now? Okay, thank you. So sorry, apologies. Okay, so Huruf al-Halaqiyya, throat letters. Okay, throat letters. Then you have qalqala letters as well. Qalqala means bounce. Qalqala letters will be qutb jad alphabets. Okay, qaf, the ones that I've highlighted in green, qaf, ta, ba, jim, dal. You don't have to memorize this all of this right now. Just understand that there are many classifications, and now you're going to get a bird's eye view about what we're going to cover, our future journey, inshallah, of all these rules we're going to do step by step, inshallah. It's going to be a piece of cake. It's going to be a lot of fun as well to learn more, because there's nothing better to learn more and get closer to Allah by getting closer to His book. So you have qutb jad alphabets, right? Qaf, ta, ba, jim, dal. Qutb jad alphabets, what you're going to do is that you're going to apply qalqala. Qalqala means bounce. Every time you see a sukoon on these qalqala alphabets, you will be bouncing. We will learn how to do that. We will do practical as well. Then we covered tip of the tongue alphabets. We covered qalqala alphabets. We have heavy letters. When I pronounced, you will see that in some of the alphabets, my voice was like a bit, like, it was heavy, right? So it's tafkhim. Heaviness is called tafkhim. Lightness, the way I recite like ba, ta, this is light. So this is called tarqiq. Heavy, tafkhim, light, tarqiq. Heavy letters, it's called khussun daqtun qis. Khussun daqtun qis. Everything that you can see in the yellow, And that the way I recite it, it's like how you can remember. First, it's the kha, khussun, kha, sa. Why you say sun? Because they're adding a tanween just so that you can remember it. Khussun, daghtun, qis. Khussun, daghtun, qis. Okay, so it's kha, you have kha, you have swad, you have dad, khussun, dag, ghain, ghain. See how it's coming. Ta, qaf, the, khusn, kha. Did you see that my mouth, there was air filled in it. Kha, swad, bod, ghain, ta, qaf, za, da, right? Qaf. So the khusn, daqt, and qas, these are the heavy letters. We're going to be practicing that as well. Arabic vowels, we looked at that. What is haraka? Okay, haraka is, like I said, alif, waw, ya. What are these? These are the 3 Arabic vowels. Now, who can tell me that we have some signs in the Quran as well, right? Fatha, Dhamma, Kasra. In the Indo-Pak region, we refer to it as Zabar, Zaid, Pesh. So what do you think that alif, waw, and ya? Okay, when I look at alif, what is alif going to be synonymous with? This is basic. Alif is going to be synonymous with fatha or dhamma or kasra.
Pesh.
We are going to try to use, we will try to use the Arabic terminology, because now we're looking at Arabic terminology,
Fatha.
right? Yeah, fatha, exactly. It's fatha with a ha. Fatha. Alif is going to be synonymous with fatha, okay? Waw, which is the second vowel, is going to be synonymous with, come on, it looks like that same sign as well.
Dhamma.
Dhamma. Fatha, dhamma you call pesh in Urdu, right? But we're gonna, this is just basic reference that I'm doing, but what we need to focus on is trying to be comfortable with using these Arabic terminology, because of course the Quran was revealed in Arabic, right? So alif, fatha, dhamma, and what is this? Ya, which is the other
Kasra or Zir.
kasra, or it's called Zair. In Urdu, it refers to as Zair, but this is just for your understanding. We need to be able to comfortably use fatha, dhamma, kasra. Okay, this fatha, dhamma, kasra, there are two terms for this. It's called haraka or it's called tashkeel. Haraka, tashkeel. Haraka is also called how long you also refers to how long you end up elongating something. Okay, if I say please elongate this for 2 harakats in this wahid, can you see this? Of course, you're not going to do that, but right now you will see that if I say, okay, waliya, elongate this for 2 harakats, this alif, then I'm going to say wahid. Wahid. What did I do for 2 harakats? How long it takes for me to open 2 fingers. And 2 harakats is usually 1 second. Okay? 2 harakats is usually 1 second. What is haraka? Harakat means the sign or the tashkeel, which is fatha, dhamma, kasra. How long are you elongating it? Waliya, elongate kasra for 2 harakats. I, a, u. Elongate it for 4 harakats. E, ooh. So what I'm going to do is that how long it takes for me to open 4 fingers. If I say elongated for 4 harakats, how long it takes for me to open 4 fingers. Elongated for 2 harakats, how long it takes for me to open 2 fingers. What is the actual attribution? 2 harakats means 1 second. Okay? We'll be looking at harakats. Why it's important for us to understand this is because later on in the sequence, I'll be just using the Arabic terms, and we should be able to comprehend what we are discussing. Okay? Any questions with haraka and tashkeel, Arabic vowels? Because this is a bit complex. This is a bit like, it has a lot of comprehensive stuff. So any questions with this specific page, with the Arabic numbers and the Arabic alphabets?
Like, Haraka, can you repeat the Haraka?
Okay. So what haraka is? Okay, haraka is how long it takes for you to elongate something, how long it takes for you to say something. Haraka and tashkeel also tashkeel means signs. Okay, we're going to look at tashkeel. Let me, just for simplicity's sake, what I will do is that we will refer to tashkeel later. Haraka, what we did is that, what is alif? Alif, or alif, you have fatha. Waw, you have dhamma. Ya, you have kasra. Okay? Ya, you have kasra. When I say elongate fatha for 2 harakats, it means elongate the sound of haraka, of that specific haraka, or elongate that for 2 harakats. 2 harakats means 2 how long it takes for you to open 2 fingers. How long? Usually the average is 2 harakats is 1 second. Okay? So if I say, for example, baba, okay? Elongate ba for 2 harakats, for 4 harakats. Then I will see that I will elongate it and recite it in a way that the ba is going to be, I'm going to elongate, stretch it, okay, for how long it takes for me to open 4 fingers. Ba, okay? Ba, 2 seconds, right? 4 harakats means 2 seconds. 2 harakats, 1 second. It means to stretch for a period of time. Haraka also means fatha, dhamma, kasra. Fatha, dhamma, kasra are called haraka, and they're also called tashkeel. Tashkeel means signs. Okay? Any doubts? I hope I'm able to clarify myself. I'm sorry, the person who asked the question, because I can only see my screen. I can't see who is questioning. Can you tell me if you understand now? Should I move forward?
Yeah, you can move forward.
Yeah, if anybody still needs more clarification, then please you can message me
Excuse me, I have a
directly.
question.
Yes, please.
Haraka also been said vowels.
Arabic
Haraka is
vowels?
also vowel.
Yeah, haraka is the signs, not the vowels. They are 2 separate things. Arabic vowels are 3. Alif, waw, ya. Haraka are the signs that correspond to these vowels. That's why we looked at alif ke saath kaun sa sign aata hai. Alif ke saath, alif is equal to fatha. Waw is equal to dhamma. Ya is equal to kasra. Arabic vowels are separate. Ye separate hai. Fatha, dhamma, kasra, separate hai. Haraka, fatha, dhamma, kasra, we call them haraka. Okay, nothing to do with the vowels.
Okay.
The explanation and the linking of the fatha, dhamma, kasra to the vowels was just for our understanding. Ki alif ke saath kaun sa sound aata hai, which is fatha, waw, which is dhamma, ya, which is kasra. Okay, Arabic vowels are not haraka, but they give us information about what fatha, dhamma, kasra are going to sound like. Okay?
Okay. And
Yes.
and the tashkeel is the other name of haraka.
Yes, tashkeel means signs. Tashkeel, the basic thing is signs. Just like, S-I-G-N-S, signs, that's tashkeel. Haraka,
Okay, thanks.
so haraka, so fatha, dhamma, kasra are signs as well, right? So fatha, dhamma, kasra
Yes.
are signs within the Quran that we use. For example, see, over here in the Urdu Mus'haf over here, look, you can see, we're going to look at it. Here you can see fatha, here you can see sukoon, here you can see standing fatha, sukoon, dhamma, fatha, sukoon, fatha, shadda, dhamma. All of these are called tashkeel. But what is haraka? Haraka is only fatha, dhamma, kasra. Okay? Fatha, dhamma, kasra are only haraka. Make sense? But tashkeel means signs, which include all of the signs that you can see in the Quran. Make sense? Yeah? And if I'm going
Yes.
fast, please, if I'm going
No,
fast, please
you
let me
are.
know. I will
This
slow down.
tashkeel, it's in the collection of all these signs.
Yeah,
And
collection.
haraka is individual fatha, dhamma.
Fatha, dhamma, kasra. Yes,
Dhamma means
tashkeel means
separate.
all the signs that you can see. Signs, right? Signs.
Okay.
Like that, they're there. Signs. Yeah. Should I move on? Any questions from here? We'll be looking at all these segregations, by the way, soon, like throat letters, what are throat letters, what are heavy letters, how do you use them, what tajweed rules are applicable to throat letters, all of this we're going to be looking at, okay? Iqlab, idgham, ikhfa, all of these things we're going to be looking at, but this is the basic foundation. And if the foundation is strong, our eventual journey is going to be a piece of cake. But if the foundation is a bit difficult and like unclear, then we will have to, face some challenges. So now, just to make it easy, let's look at the practical, like I mentioned in the TEPQ approach. Let's look at the haraka, let's look at the tashkeel. They're one and the same thing. Fatha, dhamma, kasra, haraka, they are tashkeel. But not all tashkeel are haraka. Right? It makes sense? Haraka, jo fatha, dhamma, kasra hai, they are categorized as tashkeel because tashkeels are signs. Haraka is a subset of the tashkeel. But sari tashkeels, you cannot call the tashkeel haraka because haraka just includes fatha, dhamma, kasra. How long are you going to elongate it for? Elongate it for Fatima. Elongate it for 4 harakats. I'm elongating it for 4. I hope you can see my fingers. 4. So that means when I say elongated for 1 haraka, that means how long it takes for me to open 1 finger. Okay, so let's move on. Here you have Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون. Here, what we're going to do is that we will look at what are the harakas, what are the tashkeel. Okay, let's do it together. If anybody wants to volunteer, you can. I will be asking the questions. You tell me what it is. Okay. What is this sign called? We just covered. What is this in Arabic?
Kasra.
Kasra.
Kasra. Is it a haraka? Yes or no?
Yes.
It's a haraka. What is this sign? This is a tashkeel. Yeah, this is a tashkeel. Yeah, this is a tashkeel sign, which is a sukoon.
Sukoon.
It's a sukoon. Okay. Now there are 4 different. Please pay attention, and you can write down. There are 4 different types of sukoon in the Holy Quran. Okay. First, you will see, and this is usually there in the Urdu Mushaf. You will see just this basic sukoon. In Arabic we call it sukoon. In Urdu we call it jazam. Right? Jazam. And why is it derived by jazam? I will tell you something. So first, let's look at the different sukoons that are there. One is a circle, perfect circle, which is a 0. One is an oval. These are all sukoon. One is like this, which is jazam, sort of. And one is nothing, blank, empty, but there is something. These are 4 different types of sukoon within the Quran. This one you will usually and primarily find in the Urdu Mushaf. You will also find in the Arabic Mushaf, but it's usually there in the Urdu Mushaf, okay? Even this one is there in the Urdu Mushaf. And so what is happening is that this one, the oval one, you will find in the Arabic Mushaf. Here, 0. When you see a perfect 0 on an alphabet, it means that that alphabet is silent. You are not going to recite that alphabet, okay? When you see an oval sukoon, then that means that if you are stopping at before that specific word, then you will recite it. If you are continuing, you will skip it. You will not recite it, okay? And then you have this one, which we are all familiar with, which is also here, okay? This tashkeel sign, which is the jazam. Okay, but we're not going to call it jazm. Remember, jazm is only, when you're studying with the Maulana Sahib, which is who's using the Urdu terminology for our understanding. When we're going to look at the actual Arabic terminology, then this is sukoon. Okay, you have this, and then you have something which is black, which shows that yes, here you're not going to recite it. You're not going to recite that specific alphabet. 4 different types. All you need to know is how these 4 different sukoon looks like, so that you are able to read that specific word appropriately when you are reciting, inshallah. So here, you will ask that, okay, why is it that sometimes you use this one jazm sign, and then sometimes you use this sukoon? When you're studying actually in your Arabic textbooks, for whoever selected Arabic back in school, you will see that in the Arabic words, you're gonna have something like this that's gonna be there, right? Sukoon over here, perfect 0. When the tashkeel was being added to the Quran initially, then the person who was adding it, the scholar, he felt disrespect to add, because we know that every letter that we recite in the Quran, we're going to get sawab. So that specific person, and that scholar, he felt that this is disrespectful to put a 0 on any of the alphabet when you're reciting the Quran, because when you're reciting it, then you ultimately end up getting sawab. So why put a 0, right? So then what he did is that he put this sign. And why is this, where's this derived from? This is the jeem of jazm. Can you see the jeem? That's why it looks like the shape of the jeem. Roughly, it's like jeem. That's why it's called jazm. Okay? So because he felt that it's disrespect to add a 0 on a word, on an alphabet, which we actually get sawab while reciting, that's why he did not put sukoon as a 0, but he only put a 0 on the alphabet, on the letters which we are not going to recite at all, which are silent letters. So wherever in the Quran you see a 0 on any of the alphabet, that means it's a silent alphabet. You're not going to recite it. Whenever you see a jazm, that means yes, you will be reciting it, but it's going to be like a connection, like a plus sign. So for example, look at this, bis. Bis. I connected it. It's like ba plus sin. Bis. This is how the jazm works. Bis. This is called, once again, let's get back to the topic. This is a sukoon. One of the 4 different types of sukoons. This is a haraka, which is a kasra. Haraka, this is also a sign, right? So this is a tashkeel. You can call that as a tashkeel as well. But can you call sukoon a haraka? No, because it's not a fatha damma kasra. Okay? So if I say, Maryam, elongate the scene for 2 harakas, can you say, you can't do that, right? Because it's not a vowel. It's not a vowel sound. It's not fatha damma kasra. You can only elongate what? You can elongate e, u. You can elongate that. So that is a haraka. It's not and then sukoon is not a haraka. Okay? Then the next haraka, the next tashkeel or haraka is this. What is this called once again in Arabic? Come on.
Shadda.
Fatha and shadda. Excellent. So this is fatha, which is a haraka. This is shadda. You also call it tashdid, and you also call this lam mushaddad. Okay, if it appears on lam, you call it lam mushaddad. If it appears on something else, you call it shadda. Or you can also call it tashdid. This is lam mushaddad, lam, because it's Allah, right? Allah, right? Because there's a kasra behind it. We said Allah. This is lam mushaddad. We will learn the rule of lam mushaddad as well later on. For now, just understand that this is called lam mushaddad. Whenever on Allah or Allahumma you see a shadda, it's called lam mushaddad. This is a shadda. Then you have, and this is a kasra. Let's go quickly, okay? I'm going to go on a sprint. Kasra, this is a haraka. Kasra is a haraka. Kasra is a tashkeel as well because haraka is a tashkeel. This is a shadda. On shadda, I have another haraka, which is a fatha haraka. Then on ha, I have a sukoon, not a jazm. I have a sukoon. It's a connection. Rah, rah, rah. Okay? Rah. On mim, I have a fatha. This is called a khada zabar nahi, standing fatha. Now we're trying to learn the Arabic terminology because the Quran was revealed in Arabic. For our understanding, yes, we can connect the Urdu terms to the Arabic terms. This is the fatha. On top of that, we have a standing fatha. Standing fatha is usually 2 counts. Standing fatha, the haraka is 2 counts. Rahma. Okay, 2 counts. Rahma. How long it takes for you to open 2 fingers? 2 haraka. Rahma. Okay? Standing fatha has the haraka of 2. And then under noon, I have a kasra. Under noon, I have a kasra. This is a... Is my connection stable? I'm getting this. Allahu Akbar. Okay, Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I'm sorry, everybody is just using the internet right now, I think. Okay, so you have mim fatha, and then on top of fatha, you have thank you, Walia, by the way, for letting me know. So if anybody's facing disturbance, just please point it out because I want all of this information, inshallah, to reach each and every one of us because, if the information is not going anywhere, then there's no purpose of this. So on mim, you have a fatha. The fatha, how long are you gonna, the sound of the fatha is always, I forgot to mention this, the sound of the fatha is 1 haraka. Me. How long it takes is half a second. Me. Standing fatha, the number of haraka, 2. Rahma. Rahma. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि okay, this is there, fatha is there, and then standing fatha is also there, so then 2 plus 1, you're not going to do that, okay? That's going to be in case of med. But here, rahma, okay? 2 fingers. Now, under noon, you see a haraka, which is a kasra.
Well, we can't hear you again.
Yeah, rahma, nil.
Your video gets stopped in between.
Okay, just 1 second. Okay, I'm going to turn my video off just to save on the internet. Let me know if it's better, okay? And then I'll turn it on if you need me. So Rahman, okay? Rahman, mim, you have a fatha on it, and then you have a standing fatha. Standing fatha is 2 harakats. Under noon, you have kasra. Kasra is 1 haraka. When I say 1 haraka, that means how long it takes for you to open 1 finger. Then on ra, you have shadda. This is called shadda. Do I call it ra shadda? Can somebody tell me, please? Do I call it ra shadda? Or ra mushaddad?
No.
Oh, no. Why? Because you can only say lam mushaddad here because this is the rule of lam mushaddad for Allah and one more, which is Allahumma. In the entire Quran, the rule of lam mushaddad is going to only apply for Allah and Allahumma. Okay? This is ra, and then there's shadda on top, fatha. Shadda, fatha, sukoon, kasra, fatha, standing fatha, kasra, shadda, fatha, kasra, kasra. Here. Now, would anybody want to volunteer quickly? One ayah, quickly? Anybody who wants to volunteer, just one person at a time. Anybody? You're just going to quickly go ahead. Anybody? Fatha, fatha, shadda, fatha, sukoon, damma, fatha, sukoon, fatha, sukoon, kasra, kasra. If anybody doesn't understand anything, please ask me to stop, okay? Because I'm going to go till the end. So it's kasra, damma, sukoon, fatha, fatha, shadda. This is fathatain. Or you can also call it tanween. This is kasratain. Or you can also call it tanween kasra. The Arabs usually tend to call it tanween kasr. Or you can say tanween kasra. Okay, because it's a tanween. This is tanween on anything. Tanween. Tanween is a tashkeel. Right? Tanween. Tanween kasra. Tanween kasra. Tanween kasra. If it's on the top, I will say tanween fatha. By the way, I am pointing to, can you see the drawing with a red pen? Somebody's saying that they cannot see anything on the screen. Zainabaji, can you see the drawing, my drawings on the screen?
I think I can see it. You're talking about the signs like equal.
Yes.
If you double zabar and double zay kind.
Yeah, everything that I am writing with a red pen, can you see on the screen?
Yes, I can. I don't know about the others, but I can see.
Okay.
Yeah, we are able to see.
Yes, we can see.
Yeah, they're saying, yeah, Wajiha is saying they cannot see anything. Okay, yes. Okay, so I'll just continue. Okay, by the way, there's going to be a recorded session of all of this. So I will share it for those who were not able to look at it or they had to leave in the middle. They will have access to the entire session. So like over here, you have fathatain, kasratain, kasratain. Yeah, but please don't leave. Please don't leave. Stay with me. Okay, and inshallah, it's going to be good to go on this journey together. So you have fatha over here. This is fatha. This is standing fatha. Kasra. Here, what is this? This is a waqf sign. Yes, sorry.
Your cursor is, I think your video is delaying than your audio. Video थोड़ी बाद में चल रही है, audio थोड़ी पहले आ रही है. कुछ ऐसा हो रहा है जिसकी वजह से we cannot, I'm not on track.
It is clear here. It is your internet problem, I guess. We are getting it simultaneously.
Okay, you're getting it together. Okay. So can you please, so dear sister, can you try to log off, Farah, and then rejoin again? Maybe it's going to be better. Okay, just try to log off and then rejoin the link. Sometimes, there's a normal delay that happens. Can you just try to log in again? Okay, then I'll continue. Okay, so as I was saying, this jeen that you can see many times in the Quran, both in the Arabic Mus'haf and the Urdu Mus'haf, you're going to see there are these signs. These signs, they refer to waqf rules, like the quote that I mentioned at the beginning, that what did Imam Ali alayhi salam mention about tajweed? وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا, right? So that means people asked him that, what is tartil? How do you recite the Quran? وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا means Allah enjoins us in the Quran to recite the Quran with proper tartil. Then people asked Imam Ali alayhi salam, what is tartil? Tartil is the knowledge of tajweed as well as these waqf signs. This jeen that you can see, and then other these signs, and then there will be more signs that we will go through. And these are stop signs. These are called waqf rules. Okay, this is stop sign. Standing fatha. How many harakats? 2 harakats. Kasra. How many harakats? 1 harakat. Fatha. How many harakats? 1 harakah. When I say harakah, means how long am I going to stretch it for? ذَلِكَ, not ذَلِكَ, right? 2 fingers. ذَلِكَ. Taq. D 2 over here. Why? Because this becomes a mud. This becomes a little mud. Why? Because I have this kasra and a ya. So this becomes a natural mud that we're referring to. So then it's taq. D 2 harakats. 1 for this, 1 for this. 1 plus 1, 2. Taq. D Rul, Ain, Fatha, Za, kasra. Za, yeah, once again natural mud, because here you have kasra and in front of it you have the same vowel which joins, which is similar, which is synonymous to that haraka. Okay, fatha, kasra, sukun, kasra, sukun, fatha, kasra, sukun, kasra. We will look at the stop signs. What stop signs means is how am I going to stop on this when the stop sign comes? What is this? Should I stop? Should I continue? What should I do? You will see many little stop signs, like you're going to see swad, you're going to see meme, you're going to see lam alif, you're going to see ba, you're going to see za, a lot of signs that are going to be there. And they are like commas, you know, sometimes like commas, sometimes like don't stop, some mandatory stop, waqf al-lazim, waqf al-tabi'i, all these things we're going to refer to later on. And I'm also going to give you a trick to how you will know, you know, what are the main things to stop at, and you, without knowing all of these rules, how it's going to be easy for you to properly apply the waqf signs by just remembering a single trick, which and this waqf rule we're going to be covering the next session. But here, just to give you a broad view so that you know what's coming up next, that's why I believe that it was indispensable that I just, you know, gave you a brief overview here. Fatha, sukun, fatha, 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 shadda, fatha, sukun, fatha, dhamma, fatha, fatha, kasra, fatha, fatha, shadda, standing fatha, 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 sukun, dhamma, sukun, dhamma, sukun, kasra. Let me see if anybody has any issues with this, because then I will just try to look at what I have not covered, and then we're going to go ahead with that tashkeel only. This is sukun, fatha, this rule that you can see, okay, here you also see this one, okay, this small meme, we will also learn what that is, and then you have fatha, 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 sukun, dhamma, this thing, sukun, kasra, fatha, sukun, all of this is shadda. Any questions over here so far? I'm just looking at any tashkeel. Yeah, here.
No.
What is this called? What is this called? We just covered fathatain, we covered kasratain. What is this one called? This. You know that a single one is called dhamma, so the double is going to be called dhammatain. Tanween dhamma or dhammatain. Tanween dhamma, or it's going to be called dhammatain. And then you have a shadda here, then you have a dhamma, sukun, fatha, shadda, fatha, 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 sukun, fatha, dhamma, shadda, kasra, shadda, fatha, fatha, and this is dhamma, sukun. Okay, then you have all of this. This is all everything that we have covered. The basic thing you need to know is shadda. There's shadda, there's tanween, fatha, tanween dhamma, tanween kasra, right? And then you have fatha, dhamma, kasra, which are the harakats. Remember that there are 3 harakats. Why they're called harakah is because that is what you elongate. They are synonymous with the vowels, 3 vowels. They're not the same. Harakah is not vowel. Okay, vowel is here, harakah is here. Vowel gives you information about the harakah because fatha comes from alif, dhamma comes from waw, kasra comes from ya. Okay? Standing fatha. This is called standing fatha. Under the alphabet, you will also sometimes see standing kasra. And you will also see standing dhamma as well. But standing dhamma is usually upside down. In the Arabic mushaf, you will see like this. I say it's going to be like this. Okay? Stop sign, waqf, stop sign, stop sign. How will I recite this? Waqf. Alim, not alimi. We're going to cover everything. There are 5 different rules of stopping when it comes to different words. Alim, qadim, yasbahun, kabun, mashhun, yunqadun, Hain. Remember always if you just remember the 3 alphabets that I mentioned, which is the tip of the tongue alphabets, the, val, fa. The tongue comes between the upper and the lower teeth, fa. Okay, and then not like the tongue is not going to be protruded outside. It's just going to be fa, touching fa, val, and ta, zo. Right? It's not going to be zo. That's wrong. It's a thicker version of val. It's going to be the. Okay. So these 3 things, if you remember, if these 3 alphabets, you remember that, okay, my tongue has to touch the upper, this thing, then your makhraj is automatically going to be improved, much improved. And then, of course, when there's this obligation that when we are not able to take out the ayn or the kha or the ghain sound, if we keep on practicing, then it's okay. Otherwise, Allah knows best, right? Allahu alam. So you have this, shadda, fatha, sukun, fatha, tanween, fatha, or you can say fathatain. Then you have shadda, you have kasra, shadda, kasra, fatha, fathatain, right? Fathatain, you have that standing fatha, sukun, kasratain. Anything else? Any questions with this, please? Please let me know if you have any questions with respect to this page. I can see somebody making a tick mark. Any questions with respect to this practice section so that we can move to the next? Please let me know. Anything? Okay. Now we're going to move to the next sections. Can you hear me, by the way, Walia? Zainabaji, can you all hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay. I think it wasn't lagging. Let me try again. Okay. Now you will see in the Urdu Mus'haf, this is not there in the Arabic Mus'haf, okay? In the Urdu Mus'haf, let me just show it to you. I'm sure, just try to look today. Just go into your house and try to compare the copies of the Quran that you have, the manuscripts that you have. I'm opening an Urdu Mus'haf, okay? I showed you a page within the, above. So here I will show you that you will also see a Ruku sign. Now, who can tell me how many rukus or paragraphs are there in the Quran? Can somebody tell me? How many rukus or paragraphs are there in the Quran?
558.
558. Yes, 558. There's a trick to understand, to remember that. I tell my other students as well, write 5, 5, and then you have an 8 here. Okay? And the verses, 6 at the beginning, 6 in the end, 2 here. What comes after 2?
6236.
Yeah, exactly. Baby stuff, right? And then what about the huruf?
77807.
Yeah, this is a trick, right? So you have 7 at the beginning,
Yeah.
77, 7, and then you write 80, right? So it's all easy. How many surahs? 114 surahs. How many juz? 30 juz. How many manzils? 7 manzils. Okay. Now, in the Indian subcontinent, in the Urdu Mus'haf, this juz is also divided into, each juz is divided into 4 parts. Thank you for the love, whoever made the heart sign. So each juz is also divided into 4 parts, okay? You have nisf and all of these things. And why it's divided into 4 parts? Yes, just to make it easy for you that in case a person wants to recite one juz in 4 days, then it's going to be easy for you to recite. So this is there. All these additions and all these assistance is there for us to be able to recite it, recite the juz in an easy manner, the entire
mark
Quran.
it actually.
To mark, exactly. So just to mark so that we are able to assist us to be able to finish the recitation as quickly as possible, or to give some sort of guidance to us, right? When we're studying, we prepare a syllabus. This is chapter 1, this is chapter 2, so that each person can concentrate on one specific chapter and then move on. Well, if everything is just given to us in bulk, then it's going to be a big challenge for us to even complete anything, right? Because we're going to get overwhelmed with everything that we won't be able to do anything. So here, let's get back to the topic. You will see that there are rukus, which are paragraphs. And this you will only see in the Urdu Mus'haf. I have one juz, which is surah, which is the 19th juz, okay, out of the 30. You will see this sort of sign, ayn, as you can see. You will see ayn in the Urdu Mus'haf. What does this ayn mean? Here, what's imperative for you is to understand the Urdu and the Arabic alphabets, primarily the Arabic. If you know the Arabic, you should just be careful about the 2 alphabets, the 2 numbers that I mentioned, which are a bit different, which is 4 and 7. So here in this Ruku sign, what happens? Second. Okay, in the Ruku sign, what happens is that, see, at the beginning, on the number, there are 3 different numbers, right? One in the belly, one in the top, and one in the over here. 1 second, let me select my pen. Okay. So here in the Ruku sign, this is Ruku. You have a number at the top, you have a number in the belly, and you have a number at the bottom. The number at the top, it shows you which paragraph is it in this specific surah, okay? The number is the 29th Ruku, 29th paragraph in this surah. In the belly, and then go to the bottom. This is the 13th Ruku in this juz. Para, don't say para, say juz. Okay, this is from an Urdu Mus'haf or Urdu explanation. So you have in this juz. This is the 13th paragraph, 13th Ruku in this juz. This is the 29th Ruku, 29th paragraph, okay, in this surah. And then in this specific paragraph, how many verses do you have? What is the Arabic term for verses? It's ayah. How many ayahs do you have? You have 3 ayahs in this ruku, okay? That's in the belly. there is this thing. If you just remember the sajda, S-A-J, whenever you see this, just be like, okay, sajda. This is just a trick that I'm telling you to remember. Don't actually go into sajda for this. S-A-J. Surah, ayah, juz. Now you'll never forget it, okay? So which number of ruku in this surah, number of ayahs in this ruku, number of, this is the, which ruku is it, which paragraph is it in this juz? Okay, it's gonna come over here. So you have S-A-G. Which number of ruku is it? It's the 29th ruku in the surah. In this ruku, in this paragraph, you have 3 verses, ayahs, and this ruku, this paragraph, is the 13th ruku in this juz, S-A-J, okay? Let's try to practice with this. Yes, Kakasha. I can actually see when you guys raise hands. Sorry?
Yeah, actually, I just want to know that that 29 mentions the number of surah or the total number of ayah in the surah.
Shows you the number of ruku. We just saw that, right? Like just a second, see. Now the number at the top, okay, it will tell you that ये कौन सा paragraph है. When I say paragraph means ये कौन सा रुकू है, इस सूरा के अंदर ये कौन सा रुकू है, इस सूरा के अंदर, इस जुज के अंदर ये कौन सा रुकू है, और इस रुकू में कितनी आयाज हैं. इस रुकू में 3 आया है, ये इस सूरा का 29th रुकू है, इस जुज का ये जो paragraph है वो 13th paragraph है. I know it's a bit complicated, but if you actually think about it, it's going to be easy.
Sorry, just I'm confused with the two, the top and the bottom, because like 13 means this one is the 13th ruku out of the 29th, the total number.
Out of the, how many juz are there in the Quran?
No. Like we are talking about one juz right now, right?
Yes, but then this juz is not going to be subtracted. Then why is this juz going to be subtracted? This juz is going to exist, right? So is juz ke andar, this shows the number of ruku in kitne. Okay, the concoction of the number of juzes is 30. 30 shows the number of ruku in the juz. Now within this juz, आपके हाथ में तो जो आप पैराग्राफ देख रही होंगी वो तो इसी जुज के बारे में बताएगा ना, इसी जुज के बारे में. It's not going to give you information about the other juzes. So when you see this sign, then whenever you see this, it's going to be paragraph. So now the top and the bottom gives you information. Always remember, in the middle you will have number of ayahs. Okay, top and bottom will give you information about the surah and the juz. Ab how will you remember it? Surah zyada bada hai ya juz bada hai? Surah is more, 114 surahs. 114 is greater than 30, right? 114, just the number, just look at the number. 114 is greater than 30. So that's why just keep it a trick in your mind that keep 114 on the top. So you have 114. Is surah ke andar ye kaun sa paragraph hai? Surah is going to be coterminous. What does that mean? It means that sometimes in the juz it can overlap. Shuruat mein, jaise ye surah, this is juz 19. When this is juz 19, this refers to the Surah Al-Furqan. But it doesn't mean that the Surah Al-Furqan will start on this page itself, right? That this surah will not overlap from the previous page. It doesn't necessarily mean that isi juz mein wo khatam ho jayega, right? That the surah is going to start from this juz itself. So now what happens is that the top number is going to show you that which paragraph is it in this surah. The surah can overlap from the previous juz as well, and then in this juz it can be continued. Okay, and at the bottom you have which number of paragraph is it in this juz. In this juz, as in the juz is fresh. So in this juz, which number of paragraph is this? Which ruku is it? Top is number of ruku in the surah, number of ruku in the juz. Kakasha, is it clear now?
Yes, clear. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Just to check, can you hear somebody crying? Is that loud? No, okay, good. Okay, background noise, sorry. Okay, so now what we were saying is that we were looking at this dissection. So now if you look at the top, okay, let's practice. It's going to make more sense. Look at this number at the bottom, okay? You have here, please let me know if you face any confusion. This is a complicated topic, but once you understand it, once you get a grasp of it, it's going to be a lot of fun. So over here on the top, remember the rule S-A-J, okay? So, and it always begins with number of ruku in this surah. This is the 38th paragraph or 38th ruku in this. Come on,
Surah.
can somebody tell me? Surah. This is
Surah.
the 38th ruku. Excellent, excellent. 38th ruku in the surah. Ignore this for now. And this is the 6th ruku. Of course, we know ki ruku niche. Dono upar niche mein ruku aayega, all right? At the top and the bottom. 6th ruku in this. Which number is bigger? Surah or juz? Juz. Yeah. 6th ruku in this juz. 38th ruku in the surah. Now we are going to go specifically into the belly of the ruku. Okay, remember that trick? Into the belly of the ruku. Ab is ruku mein how many verses can you are there? There are 8 verses. 8 ayat.
Verses in this ayah.
In this ruku.
8 ayah. Singular ayah, plural ayat. So 8 ayah in this
Ruku.
ruku. Yeah. Okay. So it's going to be ruku here first, then ruku here, then ruku here. Surah here, juz here, ayat here. Always remember, belly of the ruku is the ayah. Belly of the ruku, ayah. On the top, the surah reference. At the bottom, the juz reference. That's why. What is that? What is one thing? At the bottom, every time you open a juz, what will you see when it's the first paragraph? That's why every time you look at a juz, the first ayn will always show number 1 at the bottom because it's always going to be the first paragraph. It's always going to be the first ruku in that specific juz. Now let me show you. Here, see, this is the first ayn that I see in this juz. The first ayn will always show me 1 at the bottom. No matter which up, if you have, sometimes you do Surah Yasin at home or you do the Quran Khani at home. So you have individual juzzes at home, right? So that one person can pick up one juz and then they can recite. If you just go on this little expedition, and what you can do is that just look at every first juz, look at every first ruku in every juz that you have. You will always see that the first ayn sign, first ruku sign, at the bottom you will see 1 because of course it's the first paragraph in that juz. At the bottom you will always see 1 in the first reference of the ayn that you have. The next example here, let me do one example and then you guys can go ahead. Here at the top, this is the number of ruku. This is the 9th ruku in this surah. Here, you need to know the Arabic alphabet numbers. If you don't know the Arabic numbers, then this might be a challenge. I will look at the first from the top and the bottom first, and then I will go to the bit in the belly. 9th, this is the 9th ruku. This is the 9th paragraph in the surah. This is the first ruku in this juz. And in this specific ruku, I have 8 verses. 8 verses. The trick that I use to remember is that if it's facing down, it's 8. If it's facing up, it's 7. Okay? If it's facing up, it's 7. Facing down, it's 8. In the Urdu Mushaf, 7 is written as this.
Yes.
Less than sign. Okay? The greater to sign, less than sign. 7, 8. 9th, this is the 9th ruku in the surah. This is the first ruku in this juz. And in this specific ruku, you have 8 verses, ayahs. Here, is there a volunteer? Kakasha, or anybody who wants to go ahead volunteer? It's going to be fun if you're going to volunteer and do it. Anybody?
Sure. I want to volunteer.
Please, just go ahead. I don't know who's speaking, but just go ahead.
One?
Yes, please. Ji, aap shuru kariye. The first one here. What is that? Yeah, but just go ahead. Take the
ruku. 5th ruku in this surah. Then there is 8 ruku in this juz, the bottom one. Yes, and then in the middle one, the 8 ayat in this ruku.
Excellent. 8 ayahs in that specific ruku. Now somebody else?
Yeah, I'll try. Wrong.
Yes, please.
Okay. So there's 3 ruku in the surah.
Not 3 ruku. No, this is the 3rd ruku. Right? If you say 3 ruku, then it'll be like surah mein 3 rukus hain. That's not going to be valid.
No, I'm sorry.
This is the 3rd
ruku in the surah.
3rd ruku in the surah.
And the 15th ruku in this juz.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah. And in the specific ruku, there is 8 ayah verses.
Yes. Perfect. In the specific ruku, you have 8 ayahs. Okay. And the next somebody else? Thank you, Ronak.
Yes.
Yeah, Kakasha. Yes.
Kakasha. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I can see now.
It's the 6th ruku in the surah and the 2nd ruku of the juz. While in this specific ruku, there are 16 verses.
Excellent. Now see, this is also a bit complicated because as you would remember, 2 is written as this, right? 6 is written as this. Okay, a little bit like this, and a little bit like this. Okay, so you'll just have to practice on that. So you have that. Excellent. Now the last, somebody else just want to go one more try, please. Somebody else? Anybody? This one, last one. Yes, please go ahead, Farah. Yeah.
Yeah. First ruku in the surah. Then
Yes.
on the bottom is it 13th ruku in the juz, and in the between it's 13th ayah in the ruku.
13 ayahs in this ruku. Excellent. It's fine. So I think we're all on the same page, right? We all are clear with this ruku sign, correct? We all know what how to explain all of these things. Is that correct? Does anybody have any question? Please let me know. Anybody has any questions?
No.
Okay. Okay, so can I take some more time? We just have what we can do is that let me just cover the Huruf Al-Muqatta'at, and then we can shift Hamzat al-Wasl to the next session. What do you say? Because I think it's already 6 o'clock. So should I continue or should I end it here, and then we can start with Huruf Al-Muqatta'at in the next session?
We can continue. We can end up the stop.
Okay, fine. So what I'll do is that we'll go ahead with Huruf Al-Muqatta'at. Okay. So what is happening is that Huruf Al-Muqatta'at, there are how many alphabets are there in the Arabic language? Can you please tell me? Ignore these numbers that I've mentioned. There are 28 Arabic alphabets. Now, if I add 1 to it, what is it going to give me?
29.
29. There are 29 Huruf Al-Muqatta'at. Okay, in the Quran. What does that mean? It means that there are 29 surahs in the Quran that begin with Huruf Al-Muqatta'at. What is Huruf Al-Muqatta'at? That means there are verses, there are short words that are a concoction of different alphabets from the 28 alphabets in the Quran. Okay, the meaning is not known. Okay, the meaning is known only to Allah. There are many scholars who try to do permutation, combinations, and all of that to decipher the meaning, but of course that was to no avail. They did come up with conclusions as this can mean that, this can mean that, but because we're looking at just the sifat and just the makhraj, we're not going to go into all of that. What we're going to know is that how are we going to recite all of that. So how many surahs in the Quran begin with Huruf Al-Muqatta'at? 28 plus 1, this is a trick to remember. Number of alphabets in the Quran, number of alphabets in the Arabic language is 28. Add 1 to it, that's 29. 29 surahs in the Quran begin with Huruf Al-Muqatta'at. Huruf Al-Muqatta'at is like this. Swad, Noon, Qaf, Alif Lam. Okay, these is like when you're elongating it. Now what is happening is that, okay, now let's look at over here. 28 divided by 2. What's 28 divided by 2?
14.
14. So it's 14. 28 divided by 2. Why did I write this? It's because from the 28 alphabets of the Holy Quran, of the Arabic language, sorry, Huruf Al-Muqatta'at uses 14 alphabets. Okay? 14 alphabets from the 28 are used within these Huruf Al-Muqatta'at. 29 surahs begin with Huruf Al-Muqatta'at. 14 alphabets are used within this 28 alphabets. Sorry, Asma? Asma, did you say something? Now I know where to find out. Sorry,
I
this
said
is the
it's Hayyu Tuhur.
Sorry?
Hayyu Tuhur. الحروف المقطعة.
Yes. I couldn't understand what you were saying, sorry. So you have Huruf Al-Muqatta'at, you have 14 alphabets within the 28. Okay, they are using 14 alphabets from these 28 alphabets. Okay, when you're using the Huruf, when you are actually reciting the Huruf Al-Muqatta'at. Okay, from these 29 Huruf Al-Muqatta'at surahs that begin, from these 29, 27 are Meccan surahs, 2 are Madaniyan surahs. Okay? 2 are Madaniyan surahs. Now, how are we going to recite the Huruf Al-Muqatta'at? Okay, so what is happening is that here, you're going to look at these, the alphabets that are there with the med. Okay, so you will be elongating it. When you're going to elongate it, there are different rules as to how long you're going to elongate it. Usually on Alif, you're not going to elongate it. You will not have any extension. Here you will see Alif. Wherever in the Huruf Al-Muqatta'at you do not see a med on it, you will not elongate it. Okay, if you see a standing fatha, you will elongate it as per the harakah rule that we mentioned. Okay, if you see the long mad, then you will be elongating it for a specific number of harakah. For a certain group of alphabets, okay, for example, when you say swad, how many connections can you see here? Swad. Can you see three,
5
right?
fingers.
Swad.
Okay,
No,
so
I'm not talking about the harakah, like how you're gonna elongate it. Here, when I say swad, I don't. It's like okay. When I say bat, it's a basic bat. When I say ta, it's a basic ta. There's no additional like tat or something else that is being connected to it. So what about this one? Yeah, but when I say swad, right? When I say swad, then
3 letters.
it's yes, it's a 3 letters, exactly. So wherever you see alphabets like this, like swad, and then what about something else? Like somebody can come up with that lam as well. What's happening here is that if I lam, alif, mim, right? Lam. So you have 3, almost 3. Swad, alif, da. You have almost 3. The sound gives you the sound of 3 different alphabets, right? So you have lam, you have swad, then you have noon as well. When you have noon, there are 3 different sounds are coming. What about like something else that you can figure? What about qaf? Qaf. Do you remember qaf?
3 words. Yeah.
What about the scene? Right? And then
Yes,
you have
3 words.
yeah, then
And
you have
ain.
swad. Sorry?
Ain.
You have sod. Excellent, excellent. There's ayn, right? Anything else that's coming to your mind? There's kaf. There's kaf. Yeah, there's kaf as well. There's ayn. There's the swad, right? There's sin. There's noon, mim, lam. So these are the alphabets that give you 3 sounds. There are 3 sounds that come when you're reciting these alphabets. Let's call it group 1. This group 1, you're gonna elongate it for 6 harakah. Now, can you see that how the old information that we learned, which seemed very basic, is coming into the picture? So when I mentioned harakah in the beginning, so what is happening is that you will, in this group 1 alphabets, swad, lam, noon, which gives you the sound of 3 distinct alphabets, what you're going to be doing is that you will be elongating it for 6 harakahs. Group 1, 6 harakah. Group 2, group, we already mentioned alif, where you don't have anything on alif, you're never going to elongate it. Wherever you don't have a mad, you're not going to elongate it. Group 2 are the alphabets where you do not have these these sounds, like the 3 sounds that are there. So that you're going to elongate it for around 4 harakahs. Okay? Or you have 2, and then if you have standing fatha as well, you're going to elongate it for 2. Okay? So this is the rule that you will follow. Swad. Let's try to practice a couple and see just the group 1 alphabets, then so that it gives us more clarity. When you have swad, what you're going to do is that you're going to elongate it for how many harakahs? You're going to elongate it for 6 harakahs. Okay, so you have, I'll try to open 6 fingers just to show you. It's going to be swad, noon. Okay. When you see here, ayn, sin, qaf, I hope you can see my cursor. When you see here, ayn, sin, qaf, there's a rule that's going to apply when we learn later, when we delve into that. It's going to be the rule of noon sukun, which is the rule of ikhfa. That ikhfa is going to be that, like, if there's a noon sound coming, and in front of it, a certain number of alphabets are going to come, then what you're going to do is that you're going to have a hidden sound of noon. It's going to be excuse me. So you're going to have that sound that's going to be coming. So it's ayn. Look at how I'm going to do it, okay? Ayn is one of the group 1 letters, right? Sin is also one of the group 1 letters. Qaf is also one of the group 1 letters. So how am I going to do that for 6 harakahs each? How are you going to do that? Using the ikhfa rule, which you will understand later. But for now, whenever you see ayn, sin, qaf, this is how you're going to do it, okay? Ayn, sin, qaf. You see how I recited each for 6 harakahs? And by the way, some people might be like, okay, I open my fingers a bit slowly. It's up to you, but why we give that reference that 2 harakahs is 1 second is to show that this is how fast you should open your fingers. When I open 2 fingers, it should take you 1 second to open 2 fingers. Okay, so when I say elongated for 6 harakah, that means each alphabet you will elongate it for 6 divided by 2, 3 seconds. Okay? Ayn, sin, qaf. Noon is going to apply the ikhfa rule. which means that if there are some certain alphabets that come in the ahead of Noon Sakin, then you will be concealing the sound of Noon. Okay? Then you have Noon is also group 1 letter or a group 2 letter. Group 1 or group 2? Come on. You will have to, by the way, you will have to understand and remember these alphabets because it's common sense. Like, seen. I know that, okay, it's not just sa, it's not like ba, or it's not like ta. It's not like the group 2 alphabets, which is like, it's not gonna have 3 different distinct sounds. Then you need to know कि 6 harakah kahan pe hoga, 4 harakas kahan pe hoga. Okay, any questions with this? Please ask me. Because I'm sure that sometimes other people might also have the same question that you will ask. So it's going to be good to clarify everybody else's doubt. Okay, I assume there are no questions. Okay, so should I go ahead with Hamzat al-Wasl now, or I think let's leave that to next session, Hamzat al-Wasl. And for now, I will let you know the homework. Not the homework, the self-assessment actually. What do you think? Because I think it's it's 15 minutes past our scheduled time. Can you tell me? What do you suggest? What we'll do is that let's go ahead with concluding. So alhamdulillah, we covered almost all the things that we were planning. Hamzat al-Wasl, I don't want to rush through it, so I'm not going to quickly do it because it's an important topic and we don't want to miss critical factors in it when we're understanding, because there are different rules to how you're going to recite it with respect to the harakas that come before it, that come after it, and the tashkeel that is going to be there. Let's quickly overview. We learned about the Quranic Facts. We learned about what is Tajweed, why is it important? It's important because of the Quranic ayah, which asks us to recite the Quran in the proper Tajweed, in the proper tartil. Imam Ali alayhi salam has told us that tartil is actually the proper recitation in Tajweed, as well as understanding the rules of waqf. We also know the hadith of Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam, where he has mentioned that, you need to recite the Quran in the proper recitation with qira'ah, beautifying it, because there's nothing better than proper recitation. What is Tajweed? It consists of 3 things. The foundation is sifat and makhraj, okay, or we also call it makharij, articulation. What is sifat? That's a characteristic. What is qira'ah? The way you recite, the tune. There are many famous reciters right now, and each reciter has a different, each reciter, qira'ah, and there's different makhraj related to that specific recitation, qira'ah. What we are focusing on, and which is used in 96% in the entire Muslim world, is this tajweed al-hafs al-asim. Okay, that is what we are learning. And because with every recitation, there are proper tajweed rules attached to it. And this is hafs al-asim al-kufi. Yeah, so we are actually learning the tajweed rules, which is denoted by that way of recitation. Well, what is our approach? It was first we explained the topic, we looked at the examples, looked at the practical, we actually did the practical thing with the Harakah and Tashkeel as well. And we, of course, began with the dua for studying, before studying, so that Allah gives us, gives us sakina in our hearts and illuminates our minds so that we're able to better comprehend whatever we have learned and understand the concepts. And there are no mental barriers that exist. We learned what is isti'adha. That's A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Here as well, please try to practice the tip of the tongue alphabets, which is vel, right? Vel, not zal. That's completely different. Vel is going to come with practice, okay? Is the, right? And there's fa. Here, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim, okay? Here, Allahumma, it's called lam mushaddad, okay? Basmala, you need to recite each and every Quranic surah with Bismillah, except there's an exception in Surah At-Tawbah, right? That does not, it doesn't begin with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, but that is substituted in another surah, which is, I think, Surah Al-Naml. Surah Al-Naml, it has an additional Basmala within that surah. So then the total number of surahs that begin with the total number of Basmalas within the Quran is 114, okay? But Surah Tawbah doesn't begin with Bismillah. Then we learned about the Mus'haf. There are 2 Mus'hafs. How many juz or how many parts are there in the Quran? There are 30 parts. How many manzils are there in the Quran? There are 7 manzils. How many surahs? There are 114 surahs. The surahs are segregated into 2 types, Meccan, Medinian, right? 86 Meccan and 28 Medinian. What is the basic of segregation? It is not the major conception that, okay, these were revealed in Mecca, these were revealed in Medina. No, before the Hijrah, Meccan, after the Hijrah, Medinian, okay? How many sajdas are there in the Quran? There are 14 mustahab sajdas. From this 14, there are 4 wajib sajdas. I need to know the 4 wajib sajdas so that I'm able to better pay attention to those surahs which have the wajib sajdas. The sajda is going to be denoted with a sajda. It's going to be either written sajda in the Urdu mushaf on the side, or in the Arabic mushaf, you will see a janamaz sign. You will see a small janamaz sign that's going to be appearing, and there will be, the sentence is going to be underlined where you need to be careful that, okay, I need to observe sajda right now. Sajda, it's not wajib for you to go ahead in the sajda at the same time. You can do it afterwards, but try to do it because it becomes wajib on you to do that, right? It's not mandatory for you to face the qibla, but just you can do it in any direction. And in the sajda, you can say what you're saying in the normal namaz. There's something mustahab for you to say, but it's up to you to recite that specific thing, or what you say in the actual sajda when you're going into the sajda prostration within the namaz. How many rukus are there in the Quran? In the Quran, there are 558 paragraphs in the Quran. How many ayahs? 6,236. Say this way of calculation is done by Imam Ali alayhi salam. So we consider as the Shia Ashri as the most authentic number given to the number of ayahs. How many words? 77,807 words within the Holy Quran. Okay. We looked at the Urdu Mus'haf. We looked at how the page number is given in the Urdu Mus'haf. In the Arabic Mus'haf, they expect you to, be a better judge of everything, because they expect you to understand and know the Tajweed rules. And there was one more thing. In Urdu, when we read Urdu, we know that we don't have tashkeel over there, right? We don't have harakah. We don't have fatha kasra in the Urdu. If you just look at any Urdu book, but we can still read it because we know the Arabic Urdu language, so we understand कि अच्छा यहाँ पे हम लोग को ये लगाना है, यहाँ पे वो लगाना है. But in the same thing is with Arabic as well. Initially, in the past, Arabic did not have any tashkeel, but they didn't even have harakah. But because Arabs used to recite the Quran, so they used to know where to stop. They used to know what to put where, what sound to make. But once there was a scholar, and he was in the masjid. He listened to a person who was of non-Arab ethnicity. He was reciting the Quran, and unfortunately, he had many mistakes because there was no harakah. He didn't know the language. So that is when that scholar, he made it a point in his life that I'm going to put the tashkeel. He's the one who actually added the tashkeel to the Quran, and that is what is present in the script. Okay, and that is what gives us the guidance to recite the word in the correct manner and, without altering the meaning. We looked at the Arabic Mus'haf as well. By the way, is everybody listening? Am I going too fast? Can you listen? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, if you have any questions, at the end, you can let me know if you have any questions. That's I'm just giving a brief summary of everything that we covered. So we looked at the Arabic Mus'haf. We looked at how different the waqf signs are here as well. You looked at the 2 different types of numbers that are there in the Urdu Mus'haf and the Arabic Mus'haf, which is primarily number 4 and number 7. Okay, if you remember just these two things, then it'll be very easy for you to understand that, okay, which number goes where. Here, let's see. Okay, excellent. So here you will see in the Urdu Mus'haf, we looked at sajda. So here in this is the Arabic Mus'haf. Here you will see sajda written like this, as well as a small janamaz sign, right? So this is going to be there in the Arabic Mus'haf. And of course, that verse is going to have sajda, sujjadan. It's usually like the believer goes ahead and does sajda. This is usually the crux of that specific sajda ayat. And then because we want to show Allah that yes, we are believers, so it's wajib on us to go ahead and sajda. It's also a sign of respect. So you have that, and then here we looked at the Bismillah, okay? The stop signs. We went to the Harakah and Tashkeel. Arabic alphabets. We looked at the different types of classifications. A broad view. There are many more, by the way, but this is just to give you a broad overview. We looked at the Huruf Al-Halaqiyya, we looked at Huruf Al-Qalqaliyya, and we looked at the heavy letters, Huruf Al-Taqdim as well. We looked at the tip of the tongue alphabets. We looked at the Arabic vowels, how Arabic vowels are different than harakah. But all you need to know is that alif, waw, and ya equal to fatha, dhamma, kasra. We looked at the Arabic terminology of shadda, mushaddad, sukoon. We looked at the 4 different types of sukoon that are there in the Quran. We looked at the Arabic alphabets, the Arabic numbers. Okay, and we also understood that there are 28 alphabets in the Arabic Mus'haf. Okay, in the Urdu, just for our assistance, they add 3 more, which is Hamza. But here, Arabic na like with alif, there should be this is a vowel. Alif is a vowel. Okay, when you put Hamza on the top, then it becomes Hamza, right? Alif never appears at the beginning. It's always going to be there at the beginning of the word and the end of the word. Hamza appears at the beginning of the word, the middle of the word, as well as the end of the word. You have that. These are the 3 Arabic vowels. and the Harakah and the Fatha Dhamma Kasra are called Harakah. They're also called Tashkeel because these are signs basically. Then you have Harakah and Tashkeel. We looked at the different types of sukoon, the Shadda, Mushadda, all these things. We looked at the Fatha Dhamma Kasra, Tanween Fathatain. We looked at Tanween Fatha, Tanween Dhamma, Tanween Kasra. We looked at Tanween Fath. Arabs also call it Tanween Fath, Tanween Dam, Tanween Kasr. Okay, but we can also say Kasra, Dhamma, Kasra, Fatha. It's also called Fathatain, Dhammatain, Kasratain. Okay, then you have Shadda, you have sukoon, you have all of that. And then we looked at the Ruku Sign, which was a lot of fun because everybody participated. It was amazing. So here you had at the beginning, remember the trick, SAJ. Remember Sajda, but of course you're not going to do Sajda, but remember SAJ. Surah, Ayah, Juz. At the beginning, it always tells you the number of Ruku in this Surah. At the bottom, it always tells you the number of Ruku in this Juz. In the middle, it always tells you the number of Ayahs in this specific Ruku. Okay? SAJ, that's a mnemonic, sort of, you can remember. Not actually a mnemonic, but a trick that you can use. You can use your own trick. You can create your own trick to remember all these things. Because of course, each and every second that we spend learning all of this, we are actually becoming the supporters of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Whenever we are saying that, okay, Imam, please come back so that we can assist you. We want to be your helpers. Why? You should always believe that he's already here. What are we doing right now that, that we can show to him that, yes, we are actually your helpers? How can you be the 313 supporters of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam if you're not already ready? What do we have? Like Sibta Jafar is like, aa gaye to kya hoga? Kya hai apni tayari pesh hum karenge kya? So this is what we're doing. We need to prepare a portfolio in our hands that, okay, this is what I have. This is what I have done in my life so far. Which, so will you accept me? Will you accept me, Imam Zamana, to be your supporter? This is what I've done in this insignificant life that I have, so that I have lived so far. And will you accept me as your soldier? Okay. Sorry. Okay. So then you have Huruf Al-Muqatta'at that we covered. We covered that there are how many Huruf Al-Muqatta'at? 20 in the Arabic alphabets are 28. 28 plus 1, the trick is 20 plus 1 is 29, right? So we have 29 surahs of the Holy Quran that begin with Huruf Al-Muqatta'at. And then you have 28 divided by 2, 14. These are all tricks that I personally use. So I feel that maybe others, especially younger than me, and of course the those elder to me, they will know much better. I'm just here, just enhancing my own knowledge. 28 divided by 2 is 14. 14 alphabets within the Arabic alphabets. They are used, okay? This is a miracle, right? This is the beauty. Half of it. There's, of course, something which is out there which our insignificant minds cannot comprehend. 14 out of the 28 alphabets in the Holy Quran are used in the Huruf Al-Muqatta'at. There's a segregation as well. Maybe whoever wants to get more information, you can message me. I will send you that a picture where each and every the Arabic alphabets are divided into many groups. Okay, for example, there's the group of Ha is Kha. There's a Jim. So this is one sister group. Then the group of Ain is Ain. There's Ghain. All of this, right? So one alphabet from each single group is used for the Huruf Al-Muqatta'at. Just mashallah, subhanallah, this is the beauty of the Quran. I just wish we were Arabic speakers, that we would actually be able to connect more strongly with the word of God. But each and every step gets counted, because of course we are taking one insignificant step towards Allah. Allah will take 10 steps towards us, inshallah, and accept our deeds, accept our insignificant efforts. So as we said, and okay, Hamzat al-Wasl, inshallah, because it's a complicated topic, I'm not going to rush through it. Inshallah, we will go ahead in the next session with Hamzat al-Wasl. This link I've prepared, keeping in mind that we wouldn't be able to go ahead with Hamzat al-Wasl, so this does not contain any questions on Hamzat al-Wasl. This contains questions on what we have covered so far, okay, basic information. If anybody's interested, and I really hope you would be interested, because of course, if you are here, then yes, you have already taken that first step towards Allah, and He will definitely take 10 steps towards you. We just need to take that leap. So please go ahead with this link. It's a self-assessment. As soon as you complete this, just 10 questions to understand, for yourself, right? So you can do the quiz as many times as you want. You will have access to your score as soon as you complete the quiz. You will get the score, and if you can keep on doing it multiple times unless and until you feel comfortable with the topic so far. Because like I said, this is the inception. This is the foundation. If the foundation of a building is not going to be strong, then the building is going to collapse, right? So if what we are trying to do is that we're going to make the foundation strong so that our eventual journey, our eventual building that we're going to build at the end of these 8 sessions is going to be magnificent, and it's going to be good enough to house us in it, that eventually we'll be able to teach this knowledge to somebody else, inshallah. Okay, what I will do is that at the end of the session, I will be sharing this PDF within the group as well, because of course this is all fi sabilillah. No, and if but this is just with a promise that one day you will specialize in all of this as well, and you will teach one person, right? Because this is also sadaqah jariyah. You're doing this, the best business that you can do is a business with Allah. When we are actually doing something for Allah's sake, of course, to be the support of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, then we are actually getting closer to him, and we are praying to Allah that, Ya Allah, you are how I love, please make me how you love. Right? This is our ultimate dua that should be there in our hearts, inshallah. So I'll just wrap it up, and I have been speaking for a very long time. I'm very sorry, I got carried away. But if anybody has any questions, please, I'm available 24/7. Please just message me, and anything related to this topic, of course, please message me. I'm always there. And may Allah accept it from you, and may Allah accept it from us. And I apologize for any technical issues. This was the very first time I was using Zoom as the host with the whiteboard. So, as we go slowly and steadily, we will be able to become experts with all of this, inshallah. May Allah increase us in our knowledge and make us successful in our aim to be the supporters of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, inshallah. And salawat Muhammad wa al Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.